Right now, we're seeing some really new and exciting music coming from the Sydney scene. Not just in hip hop, but across all the genres. Yeah, we're in lockdown and that sucks, but we wanted to keep the scene collaborating and talking. So we decided to ask a series of questions to artists and producers across the Sydney scene to try and get a bit of perspective, to see if we could learn from each other and take the scene to new heights. This is a series we're calling Sydney Speaks, and in this episode we're asking, how would you currently describe the Sydney scene? If you have your answers, please drop them in the comments below. Thank you to all the artists and producers. Let's get into it.
I would describe the Sydney scene as blooming, amazing, relevant. I think that it's also underrated and underappreciated. I think that Australia, as a hip hop community, we're just starting to find our identity.
First word that comes to my mind when I think about the Sydney music scene is bubbling, because it's all right here, and it's hot, and everyone's adding their things into the mix, and it's beautiful. And I'm so keen for when it just like pops and everyone gets to see the beauty and talent that's here.
Now is the best time to be an artist in this city. Music is a way for us to express ourselves and a way for us to get our messages out there and to get our voices heard, and to see so many people, so many artists have the confidence to put themselves out there like that, and to put their stories out there like that. It's I think it's something that I've wanted to see in the scene for a long time.
The Sydney scene right now is the most diverse it's ever been. I think from when I was introduced to it and from my understanding of it, there's now different eras that people follow and live through. It's not just this one thing that we all gotta like sort of fall under. There's different umbrellas now.
It's flourishing a lot, it's evolved a lot. A lot of things have happened in order for it to evolve, and a lot of artists are contributing to it. I think it's honestly beautiful, and it's paving a lot of ways for the younger generation to come after us and just fucking smash it, you know?
The hip hop and R&B community that's bubbling under the surface is super exciting and something that I'm really grateful to be a part of. I don't think everyone's quite wrapped their heads around it yet, but they will, I promise you.
I'd like to think that Sydney prides itself on its collaborative culture. I think that a lot of artists within Sydney know one another, work with one another, and yeah, I think that's going to be a huge key to the growth.
It's diverse, it's vibrant. It's amazing living in Australia, and especially in Sydney, and having this multicultural society we live in. And it's so cool to see that now coming into the music industry, that that's also translating to music, that I can see people from every colour, from every creed, from every race, and I think that's why the Sydney scene is so beautiful.
I think one of the best things about the Sydney industry is how diverse the city is, which just means our artists come from different worlds, they come from different experiences, and we can connect to a huge audience.
So I think within the greater Sydney music scene, there's a whole bunch of sub-scenes. So we've got like a hip-hop scene, there's a R&B movement, drill, pop, and they're all doing things very differently from each other, whether it's from like the creative process all the way through marketing and building audiences.
The Sydney music scene to me at the moment is thriving. We have some incredible artists coming out of Sydney, and I feel like there's a lot more attention and focus placed on R&B and soul music, which I've been waiting for years. I also feel like we're adopting that mentality that if we all support each other, then we all win.
I think that if we compare ourselves to other industries around the world, we're definitely babies in the game, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that necessarily. I just think that means we have been given the opportunity to build an industry from the ground up and have it focused on collaboration and longevity of artists' careers. And I'm really excited to be a part of an industry that's still growing and still learning.
And I do think we lack having a scene a little bit. There's a few too many degrees of separation between artists, and we should be coexisting in each other's spaces more and collaborating and cross-pollinating creatively.
I feel like Sydney's still in a period of growth. There's definitely a dozen or so artists that have a really strong fan base domestically and maybe even cracked the overseas market. But yeah, for the most part, I would say people are still in a period of incubation. They're still discovering themselves.
It's being recognised locally, nationally, and also internationally. Talents such as 1-4, Kid Leroy, killing it on the global scale.
Yeah, the Sydney scene definitely is on its way up. I think that it definitely needs time to grow. There's a lot of artists with potential here, but it's early days. You can kind of tell that the music's in its infancy. So it'll be interesting to see how things grow with certain circumstances changing.
I would say it's growing quite rapidly too. You know, but at the end of the day, we just got to focus on, you know, our next steps and what we want to do next, and because we can't keep dwelling on the same sound or anything like that, so we need to start tapping into different things in order for us to continue to grow.
You know, just so many different genres and stuff at the moment as well. I think it's a very exciting time to be an artist in Sydney.
It's good to see that people from different cultural backgrounds are talking about their day-to-days and what they go through, rather than us trying to emulate the American culture. It's awesome.
I do think that the market is diluted at the moment, but we're starting to see everyone break into their own lanes as well at the same time. People are exploring different trends or even their own, you know, avenue of where they can take this music, and I think that honestly is the best thing to do when you don't give a fuck about what people think or say. You make what you want.
We're experimenting with drill now, we're experimenting with UK sounds, we're experimenting with US sounds, but overall we're also finding our own market, our own sound, our own identity and our own culture within the hip-hop culture. So I think that Sydney hip-hop scene is definitely something to look out for, and I think it's definitely something that could overtake the global market.
On this episode of Sydney Speaks, we are asking, what is the significance of collaboration between artists and producers?
The producer and artist are on the same page creatively, and they have this shared vision.
You know, you can't be forced. You can't force a collab.
It manifests as an MP3 file at the end, which is so weird.
I feel like producers just kind of like send their beats and leave it there.
It's super important to get someone else's fresh input.